House Majority Whip Tom Emmer joins us live now. He represents Minnesota in Congress. And you certainly know all about these fraud allegations and investigations and convictions. Good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Edie. It's good to be with you. By the way, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Minnesota is the poster child, unfortunately, for fraud. We've got the $250 million pandemic fraud case called the Feeding Our Future scam, but it goes way beyond that. It's Medicaid housing dollars for the homeless, $400 million there. The dollars just keep racking up, and you see it in California. Now you're seeing it in Ohio, in Hawaii. Healthcare fraud, by the way, these public health care programs runs rampant. And I think what you've seen from Donald Trump and now J.D. Vance, who he appointed to run this thing with cabinet members like Oz and the FBI, you're starting to see they are going to go after it everywhere. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning.
Well, Congressman, that's the key point. They're going after it everywhere. I remember when the fraud was first being uncovered in Minnesota, becoming a national issue. Tim Walz, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, was saying that this is targeting blue cities, right? And this was prosecuting Somalis and being racist. Last time I looked, Ohio's a pretty red state.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But everybody knows this is where the left wing, the new socialist, Marxist, anarchist left wing, this is where they go. They go to racism. They go to hatred. You just hate all of us. No, there is nothing racist about calling out criminal activity. In Minnesota, that Feeding Our Future case, there were 96 people that were indicted. 86% of them are Somalis. This was a network. They were doing autism fraud. They were doing a daycare fraud. I mean, it goes on and on. The number could be in the billions of dollars in Minnesota. And Minnesota's only 5.7 million people, Bob. Right. Look at California. Minnesota's punching well above its weight. You go to California, it's 40 million people. Get ready. Wait until you see the fraud that they're going to start revealing all across this country. And it's not racist and it's not hatred to start calling out criminal behavior and, more importantly, holding them accountable. What I like most about your report today is they're starting to hold public officials accountable. In my state,
that's right.
Yes.
We'll have to see where the evidence leads, but Ilhan Omar was at the center of the Feeding Our Future scandal.
Yeah, I noticed that also, and I think that, what's interesting is that they've also said, because it clearly is not just about, red state, blue state, they said we're finding government workers at the federal level and at the state level because they knew the system. They were able to cheat the system as well, but they're looking for them in their own house. So it really is, it certainly seems to be an authentic effort to try to secure our taxpayer dollars. But we also saw in Ohio that you had Somalis, Bhutanese and Nepalese involved in that also. It does seem to be at this point fairly immigrant heavy in the people who are coming in here and deciding that it's easy to steal from the government.
Yeah, well, you're right, and we've filed legislation here in Congress that would modify our immigration laws to provide that if you come to this country, if you want to chase your American dream and your American dream is committing fraud and fleecing the generosity of Americans, guess what? You should be denaturalized and you should be shipped back to wherever you came from. And it's high time we start looking at this stuff. The idea that we don't want to call out fraud, we don't want to call out criminal activity because we're afraid of being called names, those days are over. It is time to let the truth rule. These people need to be held accountable. And to your earlier point, Edie, in my state, 7.5 years, when you have billions of dollars being bilked out of your state government, you're going to try and tell me that Tim Walz, our governor, had no idea this was going on for 7.5 years? You're going to try and tell me our Attorney General, Keith Ellison, didn't know something about it? They, in fact, Ellison's on a tape talking about aiding the Somali fraudsters. So it, by the way, is not just one group, it's many different groups. It just happens to be Somali fraudsters in Minnesota.
Ilhan Omar, she had a victory party at one of the guys nailed for this at his restaurant.
Yeah, the Safari restaurant. But the positive news is that when I was speaking to one of the House members in Minnesota, they said that the groups who are coming in to now turn in the fraudsters, many of them from the Somali community as well. So, you know, it's not painting everyone with a broad brush, but when you see this fraud, wherever you are and however you look, you need to point it out.
It's embarrassing for them as well
Absolutely.
to see the people from their country come here and do this and really just tarnish their name as well. And that's what has happened.
Yeah.
Important to remember that.
But you do have a beautiful state.
That's true.
And I'm looking forward to getting out there fishing this summer.
Especially this time of year, Edie.
I know.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
Thank you so much. House Majority Whip Tom
Thanks,
Emmer.
guys.
You bet.